Well, welcome once again to Art with Mrs. Maher. Hello, guys. How are you doing? I hope everything's been going well for you. This business of having to study and learn from home is sort of complicated for me, too. So I have some sympathy for you. Oh, let me get the camera up here a little bit closer. Look at this. Do you remember that doggy? I do. As we were talking about lines in the last lesson, there, I think I've got it now. As we were talking about lines in the last lesson, we talked about this dog. Remember, I said, I liked a dog that had some red orange color in it. And look at what this dog did. I think this dog colored himself. I think this dog was listening and paying attention. Were you? I hope so. Now, anyhow, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the continuous lines and how we can develop them without actually just taking our colors and just scrubbing them on like that. See that? Oh, yeah, that's all one color. Well, that doesn't really show much detail about the dog. And so for a little while, we're going to work on this dog. I'm probably going to have to go out of the picture so that I can get this dog in there. There we go. How about that? Do we have that dog up close and you can see that dog? Can you look and see the different lines of color in this dog? Let's work on that a little bit while we discuss lines and how we can do a picture with just lines. Now, with this dog, I have used a range of colors. If I'm looking to create an orange, red, brownish color dog, guess what colors I should use? It's red, brown, another shade of red, orange, several shades of brown, and even some grayish colors. Well, we're not really talking about colors, but we're going to get there. So I think I want to show you that with this dog, I've done all of these lines here in the ear, but I think I want this ear to be a little bit darker than the face. So what do I have to do? I've already got some colors in here. Oh, I think I'm going to have to add a little more brown in here. And I'm just going up and down. I don't have to always go up and down because fur isn't always up and down. Fur can get sort of silly and wonky with dogs, especially when they've been playing. Can you see that I've added a little bit more darkness here? Let's get a little bit more darkness up here. Look at that. I'm just going over the lines that are already here and the colors that are already here. And I'm sort of bringing the ear out a little bit. Can you see this ear coming out a little bit? The one beautiful thing about this dog, well, there are many beautiful things about this dog, but the one really neat, attractive thing about this dog is those floppy, big ears. Look at that. We're bringing out that ear. And how many colors did I use to get this? Oh, you're right. Many colors. Oh, my poor little doggy. Let's fix him. I sort of like this doggy a lot. I'm beginning to feel attached to him. Can you see the difference yet? Almost, but there could be some more here. Let's just work on one section at a time. And we add, there we go. There we go. Yeah, just with lines. Do you see? Can you tell? Here, I'll do it here. I'm just using my colored pencils, and this can be done with crayons. And I'm just working with those lines again. But those lines are in color. They're not your black and white pencil. And as I work with these lines, I add more colors that match the colors of the dog. Look at that. I've got a light brown here. Can you see how this is beginning to look like hair? Fur. This is a dog. And then as I work with my colors, I want to add in a little bit more red. Look, what's happening there? You can get a group of colors that sort of go together and match and blend. And you can create, with lines, a beautiful picture. Now, I'm starting to fall in love with this dog. And I think eventually we're going to have to name him. And then I think we're going to have to decide if this is a boy dog or a girl dog. I don't know yet. But I know that when I look at this picture, one of the things that pops out, because it's not colored, and the rest of this is those eyes. Those eyes are begging us to do something. I'm thinking right now, this dog has been up here for a while, and I'm thinking this dog wants me to say, okay, honey, you don't have to sit and stay still anymore. You can lay down. Oh, watch. Good job, doggy. Yes, you lay down and take a nap now. Oh, I think that doggy's so sweet. When we first talked, I introduced you to the elements of art, the building blocks of art. They are the foundation. We build on the foundation. The elements of art are the visual tools used to create art. They are the features in the art piece that help the artist communicate. My tape is being wonky. And we talked about communicating what the artist wants. And we talked about emotions. Well, you look at that little doggy. That little doggy, I think, is looking like he wants something. Maybe that doggy wants a bite of your sandwich. I don't know. But the elements of art that we're going to focus on for the first several weeks are line, shape, and color. Then we'll move on with some other elements of art. And I asked the question, what do we already know about lines? Well, we discussed that, didn't we? Lines have a beginning. Lines have an ending. Lines can be thick, thin, whoa, the loop-de-loo, and the wavy, and the spiral, and thick, and angry looking. And lines can be lazy. Lines can be a mix of thick and thin, and thick and thin, thick and thin, and so much more. As we explore with lines, we can create some texture. That's a word we'll talk about later, but that's what's happening with our sweet doggy. I hope you all adopt this doggy. I love this doggy. All right, what do we already know about lines? I think I've seen a few pictures from some of you students that Mrs. Fong has shared with me, and I love them. I see wonderful colors. I see you exploring lines, and I'm just thrilled with what I have seen so far. So you keep it up. Do your best work. Now, we're going to move on. There we go. All right, you can lay down too, all of you lines. Look at this. This is a giraffe. If you look over here, this is a tracing of the giraffe. Now, as we're learning how to draw and how to create and use our imagination, it's sometimes helpful to trace pictures that we really like. And there's an easy way to do it. You don't need to go out and buy expensive tracing paper. You can buy parchment paper. You use it in the kitchen when you're baking cookies and protecting your cookie sheets. So, maybe that's one of the things you can check with your adult in the house and see if you have it. If you don't have it, cheap printer paper will work for most things. You just put your printer paper over, and then you can see if it's a dark enough outline, this will come through. Now, if you buy expensive printer paper, it won't work. The more expensive the printer paper is, the more thicker and dense it is. So, if your adults decide, we'll get you some printer paper, it's useful for all of your art projects. And the cheaper the printer paper is, the better it is for you. So, anyhow, what I have here is I just took off a piece of parchment paper and I put it over the giraffe that I want to color. Now, the first thing we want to do is start some tracing. We talked about contour lines, but we also talked about there's a beginning and an ending to a line. So let's look. Let me see if I can do this. I want to keep my hand out of the way. Look. If I just keep my hand loose, I don't have continuous lines. There we go. Oh, have an eraser handy. I'll have to get a better eraser to work on that. Oops. Okay, but look. There we go. Can you just keep your hands a little bit loose? You don't need to try this tedious, perfect, oh, this will take forever kind of thing. No. Loosen up. Loosen up. Oh, it doesn't have to match perfectly, does it? Oh, no. Look at what I want to do down here. There we go. And then, oh, maybe I'm just going to suggest an eye here, huh? And that horn. Yeah. And that ear. Ooh. Oh, okay. Let's just lines, lines, lines. Be happy. When we're trying to sketch something by tracing it, one of the things we need to understand is that our beautiful hands, I'm still not used to the camera, guys, sorry, but our hands have small muscles in them. You know, if you think about your legs and your arms, they have big muscles in them. Those are large muscles, and these muscles in your hands are called fine muscles. And the first thing that develops with children is their large muscles, their legs, their arms. And then, after those muscles are well developed, the small muscles, our fine muscles, come into play. And we learn how to do a pinch. Yeah, like that. And when you do that, you can feel those muscles in your hand. So do some warming up exercises. Go from finger to finger. Okay. And then relax your wrists. Do some wrist exercises. Yeah. Oh, what about that? Okay. You get the idea? Let yourself relax. Engage those muscles in your hand. That's how you're going to develop them. Now, look, when we're talking about lines, we're not talking about a line that is connected. We're talking about a line that has a beginning and an end, right? These lines right now, if you can see, are connected. They're creating a shape, and we'll talk about that next time. So how can we trace this and not connect the lines? Look at this. Look at this. Yeah. I'm just suggesting, aren't I? Look at that. And it doesn't matter. Look, I missed the line there, didn't I? All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, art isn't necessarily perfect. It's a reflection of you, of your individual likes and dislikes. Yeah, it's all about you. What do you like? What do you not like? Yeah, think about that because you are unique, and what you like and what you don't like matters mostly to you, but other people might like what you like also. You never know. So, what I want you to do is find a picture that you like. I used the giraffe because I happen to think giraffes are beautiful. But maybe you have a favorite book at home and you would like to learn how to draw a bird. Well, you put the tracing paper over that and you work through it. Look at how fun some of these pictures are. Oh, there's the birds with a nest. I love the fact that this bird has a hat on her head. I'm thinking that's Mama. What do you think? Here's plenty of pictures. Oh my goodness. If you wanted to work on a worm, yuck. But I see some mosquitoes and dragonflies. Now, I like the dragonflies, but nah, not so much a fan of the mosquitoes. Do you want to practice drawing an alligator? Well, you put your parchment paper, your tracing paper, or your printing paper over that alligator, and you'll soon begin to understand lines and how to use them in art. Here's another one I like, and I'm sure you all have a book at home. Oh, I just dropped that old book on the floor. It was right next to me, so I dared it. 10 apples up on top. This is a Dr. Seuss book. Yes. What do you see here that might interest you? Oh, there's a caricature of a tiger. You could put your parchment paper over that and trace. Let's see. I'm just flipping randomly. Let's see. Come on. I'm going to find something different. Well, there's the bear. And what's happening in this story? As you pick out your picture to trace, remember that you're teaching the muscles in your little hands how to be stronger and how to work together to help you with your small muscles. Look at this. Maybe you like Sesame Street. I love the characters in Sesame Street. Oh, look. Here's a picture of a girl. Now, that may be what you want to learn to trace and practice. It doesn't matter what you pick. What matters is that you like what you picked, okay? So for our next lesson, this particular activity, I want you to practice. And this is a way to develop the muscles in your hands and develop some skills that you may not already have. You're going to make those muscles stronger But the idea is that most of all, you should have fun doing it. All right. Now, let's talk about I just had a brain fart. I shouldn't have said that. You know, where you sort of go blank when you want to say something. You're going to sketch and you're going to color. Okay. And you can erase. If you don't like the line you made, have a good eraser with you. Erase it and do it over again. So that's your activity for the week. All right. I want to tell you about the next few weeks. There goes that tape again. I'm just going to hold it here for us, okay? Next week, since we talked about the elements of art, we're going to continue with shapes, colors, and we're also going to talk about what artists communicate and what viewers interpret or think about a painting. But during that time, I want you to pay attention to the world around you. I want you to look at lines in nature. If you look at a tree, you will notice that it is very, ever rarely straight. A lot of lines in nature are a little bit crooked. Well, I call it wonky. And then I want you to look at the colors in nature. This is the fall season. Our leaves are changing. They become very colorful. You'll see reds, browns, some greens changing to yellows. Oh, see what kinds of colors you can notice as the trees change, because eventually we're going to be working with colors. So pay attention to the trees in the fall. One of the things that will help you with your practices and lessons as we begin to go into the color area of the elements of art is tempera paint or watercolors, because we're going to learn how to mix those colors and make beautiful ranges of colors as we go. Parchment paper for this project will help, or like I said before, cheap printer paper. And then with one of our activities, we're going to work with paints, a ball or a large bead. I can take the pencil out of there, can't I? Maybe even an old pencil would work. I'm not sure. But we're going to put some paint in our box. We're going to roll it around back and forth. That's why we want a box. We need edges, because the last thing we want to do is drop that ball on the adult's floor. Well, I don't think parents would be too happy with that. And then what we're going to come up with is something like this. This was just 3 splats of color, red, yellow, and blue. And I had a bead, and I put it in here, and I rolled that bead around. And as that bead rolled around, it ran through these different colors, and it made lines. Now, isn't that an interesting result? Do you like this? Do you think this is a picture? I don't know what you think. You're the one who knows what you think. And that's what it's all about. All right, boys and girls. I've had so much fun today talking with you. The next time we get together, we're going to talk about those shapes. And we're going to start putting lines and shapes together a little bit more. I hope you learned something about lines that you didn't know before. And I hope you had fun with your project. I'm going to look forward to our next lesson, and I am very much looking forward to seeing the pictures you've created from our first lesson. Thank you to those students who have already shared their pictures with their teachers. And continue to send those pictures in. And until the next time we meet, be safe, be well, and pay attention to the fall changes, okay? Oh, I love you guys. Have a good day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.